Hello and welcome. Everything seems to be working correctly. Hello, everybody. So this is our fifth session for our wonderful AMA session, and we've got a wonderful new guest today that I'm sure that everybody has been long awaiting and very excited for, and we at Tangem are also very happy to have him here. So for today's episode, we're going to have our CEO of Tangem, Andrey, join us live today and answer all of your questions. Of course, we heard back some of your feedback from last time and understood that you guys wanted to have more of the questions, so to speak. So without further ado, we're going to be running through all of your questions. We've had a lot of them in advance and a lot of them are going to be live. So just be sure to leave them in our YouTube live stream as we go right now. And I think that's it for now. If you stay until the very end, we do have the ability to win 5 wonderful pieces of Tangem merch. So be sure to stay with us until the very end and we'll be able to pick our winners. Without further ado, let's go. Hi, how are you today? Can you hear us well?
Hi, everyone.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, okay. Microphones are working, cameras are working, mood is good. Let's kick it off. Can you give us a background about who you are, how long you've been with Tangem, and what your role is at the company?
Sure. So I'm Andrey, the head of the company and technical co-founder. Actually, my background is embedded security and secure microelectronics. So that's how we started Tangem 7 years ago. And the core expertise of the team, including myself, came from kind of secure deep tech. Today, we will be talking roadmap, and we will be happy to answer all your questions, all the deep technical questions, features, everything. So Anna will start with telling more about upcoming upgrades, features, form factors, and integrations. And then I will be ready to answer all your questions.
Of course. Okay. So I think before we kick that off, this might be a perfect start to actually ask more about the strategic goals of the company, where we're going, or do you want to leave that until a little bit later down the line? How do you prefer?
Yeah, we can start with the detailed roadmap, so we can tell about more like coins, more integrations, so what we have in upcoming months, and then we'll have more strategic talk.
Brilliant. In which case, I've got everything ready to go here. All right, we're going to run through this relatively fast because last time we had a whole Q2 session. So we had all of the main announcements, so to speak, done at the moment during that last AMA. So if you haven't caught up, then this is the chance to go catch it up. But for now, we're going to cover things a little bit top level, just quickly where we are, the roadmap, what updates have been done in the last month, and where we're going very soon. All right. As for new developments, this is something that we covered last session a lot more in detail. But for those who haven't been to every single one of our AMAs, I don't understand why not, but here you are. I'm glad to have you here with us now. From last month, we have released quite a lot of different things, notably our 24 seed phrase and passphrase support, and of course, our send screen redesign. For this month, we are going to be welcoming some welcome changes. And of course, we're going to be integrating OKX decks. And we've got a number of other things that are coming very, very soon in the future. Again, not going to run through it in way too much detail. We've got a whole new session. If you want, we have a 24/7 community. You can just drop down anything into our Discord and our Telegram, and a team of wonderful moderators and helpers will be sure to have a quick look and answer all of your questions. As for roadmap, I think this is where a lot of our community members are interested all the time. We've got an outline here as for June releases, July releases, and for our app developments. For June and July, so June is going to be Mantle, Joinstream, Manta, Radiant, Hedera, Cardano, and Ton tokens. A lot of people are very excited to have Ton ecosystem coming to fruition in Tangem, so here we are. And moving onwards for July releases, we've got a lot of our old favorites that have been waiting patiently for release, and here they are coming. And we've also added Blast, which is also a very welcome addition to our Tangem lineup. Now, we've got a little bit of a difference in change to our roadmap this time. We're putting something called under construction. This is, of course, subject to change, and we have updated the little disclaimer on the very top, so just have that in mind. This is something that we have taken a look at initially and gone, sounds great, let's continue on with this. But because integration is a very delicate, very labor-intensive process, as I'm sure Andrey will run you through in detail what our company looks like, some things are subject to change. Just keep that in mind. But for now, there you go. Those are the new assets that are being released. I think what else has changed for app developments at the time is Q3. There are some updates in terms of Wallet Connect and NFT native support. For those people who have missed it, that will be coming in Q3. Just a reminder, we are still in Q2. We've got, I think, a month or two left of Q2, and then we'll be moving on to Q3. I think that's it in terms of the roadmap. Again, we're running through it relatively fast because we want to get to your questions. Community mentions, very fast. You can catch us at a lot of events this month. So we've got ETH Belgrade going on right now. So if you're in Serbia right now, be sure to give us a text message and we can maybe come and see whether we can say hi to our fellow community members in person. Then, of course, we're going to be heading off to Georgia and to Switzerland later on in the month. So be sure to drop us a message if you are around. Finally, I want to mention very, very quickly, we've got our wonderful Tangem Club, which is almost, this is a rehashed new system for our Tangem beta. And of course, because we co-create with the community together, this is how we allow you guys to kind of come in and give us some feedback. So if you want to join this program, this club, it's open to everybody, but we do need your participation and your feedback to make sure that we can co-create the product together. Finally, I want to say very, very fast, a happy birthday to our wonderful helper. Anybody who's been in our Discord will know 100% Jessica. She's been with us before, a lot of us actually. So she's one of those people that has spearheaded the community, and we want to say happy birthday and thank you. All right. I think that's it for now. Like I said, we're going to keep this short. And now to the main event, your questions. All right, let me stop this now. I need to figure out how to stop it. Okay, brilliant. Cool. Okay. How do you feel about running through some of the questions right now?
Let's go quick through this. So some of them are really short. And for some products, I will give a more detailed explanation, like our collaboration with Visa. So let's start with features, then we'll go through security questions, and they're more strategic stuff.
Sure.
So the first question
We've got a lot of these things from advance. So a lot of our community members did drop them in, and we were able to see sort of a recurring pattern of questions. So we've got those questions. We've sorted them, like Andrey said, into a couple of features. So features, security, and other pressing topics. But of course, we'll be taking questions live as well. So if you have a question, this is the moment you drop it in. While Andrey is answering, I'll just be sifting through the comments, making sure that I have those, and then we'll bring it up on screen. So just because it hasn't been sent in advance doesn't mean that we don't get to cover it today. So without further ado, how about we start off with this question right now? This is something from our pre-prepared. So right now, we use Wallet Connect to interact with EVM smart contracts, but how will we interact with non-EVM blockchains like Cardano?
Okay. That's a simple question. So basically, we are oriented on our community first of all, and we hear all the voices and we prioritize such integrations. And in this kind of integrations, we rely on the blockchain infrastructure first of all. And the Wallet Connect that you mentioned here is a very important tool for the community, and basically it helps us to have this bridge between the wallet, between the key management system that we have, and the whole blockchain. So we will be offering support of Cardano tokens very soon, as Anna mentioned. But for more in-depth integration, we rely on the community. So we need some kind of instrument that will help us not to implement such a support natively, because it's a really time-consuming task, and we'll do this very slowly, obviously. So that's why we expect that community will help us with such kind of integration, such kind of tools that will help us to bring more functionality in blockchains like Cardano.
Got it. Okay, brilliant. How about we run through another question very quickly? In the past, there has been some criticism of Tangem for not being very good at Bitcoin storage due to limited network options. Are there any plans to implement the Bitcoin Lightning Network?
Okay, yeah. So regarding Lightning Network, it's cannot actually be done with a cold wallet due to architectural limitations. So if you want to have a Lightning wallet, you need a hot wallet for that. That should be an application that is permanently connected to the internet, which contradicts with the concept of the cold wallet. So at least it's not known to me any kind of implementation based on cold wallets, because of the process. The flow of transactions is very difficult. You need to make like many ping pongs between node and the wallet. So that's why it cannot be done that easily, and we will not be able to support this due to technical limitations. Otherwise, yeah, Bitcoin is supported, and we spend a lot of attention because majority of transactions seemingly come through Bitcoin network, and I mean that we, of course, we spend a lot of attention to quality, availability of nodes, and we will continue to stay focused on Bitcoin network in the future.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something that we could also make some sort of explanation, maybe in the form of blog post as well. Of course, this is kind of how we understand what the questions are. So based on your questions, we're able to jump in and kind of understand how we can explain that better in blog post form. So
Right.
Thank you so much for community for coming in and giving us these questions. This is partly in how we create a community together and the product together and so on. So, okay, let's take another one from our pre-prepared. And I think next we're going to try and do something live. So if you have a question, be sure to drop it down. So next question is why Tangem is not enabling the system for adding custom EVM networks within this app. It is a very demanding feature, and we want to see more of it in Tangem.
Okay, so I guess this question is more about Ethereum clones or like networks which are like 99% similar to Ethereum, and the answer here is that we are very committed to provide a high level of availability and service to our users. That's why we have to select and integrate backends, nodes, APIs ourselves. Meaning that it's not that just you can open some interface, type in some endpoints and work like with this network as a usual Ethereum, because we are not sure it's safe for you. So it's a very sophisticated feature. It's not something that is safe to majority of our users. And that's a reasoning why we're not open this. So even if I'm speaking about like a some popular clone of Ethereum, we do this ourselves, and we will keep this approach in the future, and because it's a question of safety.
Yeah, I think that is the main thing. Commonly, there might be a misconception that it's just a feature that we haven't gotten around to yet. But most of the time, it's just because we do value safety here as the main priority. So it's good to have that out and open and be able to explain it. Yeah. Okay, let's take something live. We saw these kind of questions before. I'm going to try and take all three of your questions, Gus, but let's take this one for now. Have there been any attempts to clone the signal, just like they clone credit cards? So I assume this means cloning Tangems.
Yeah, for me as an engineer, that's a simple question. So basically, of course, everything is protected against such kind of attacks, like a replay attack or anything that's related to a channel between the card and the phone. So, and the specifics of implementation of NFC hardware and NFC protocol is that you cannot really interfere into this communication, and it's theoretically possible to eavesdrop like the data that is coming through the channel, but it's useless. So that's not a realistic attack vector in any scenario. So this radio communication is useless for hackers or for common people. So that's not something that could be like really interesting.
So I'm going to take that as there has been no attempts. There's not even a point. We have a very interesting way of going about things. So yeah, good to know.
Right.
Okay, let's take another one from you guys as well. Let's take this live. So any materials from phone cases that might interfere with the communication?
Yeah. So it's a basic physics basics. So any kind of like magnetic material, like metal or metal case, will interfere in this communication. That's why we still do not provide metal cards, because it hampers communication. Actually, it makes like the UX bit less reliable, and we still use like high quality polymers for our cards. So yeah, but if you want to store the card in safety, of course, any kind of metal case or I don't know, metal wallet will isolate the magnetic field, and your phone or your wallet card will not communicate by NFC.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everything's possible just as long as everything's protected. But we've also got a couple of videos on our YouTube for those who haven't seen it. Well, we've got one at the very end too, which is going to be a very interesting one to catch up on if you haven't, which is the deep dive video, basically where we put it underneath for 6 kilometers underground, under pressure, underwater. So it's a very strong material. But that's a good answer to put it that. Phone cases may interfere, but the card itself needs to be able to communicate. All right, let's take another one from our pre-prepared. We are running through this. I'm so glad everything's going quite smoothly. We're going to be able to get through a lot of questions, so be sure to drop more down. Are there any plans on adding something like a built-in browser for dApps?
Yeah, again, it's a question of prioritization. There will be some elements of dApp browsers, meaning that we will add a native supports for the most popular dApps, like Gnosis Safe, for example. So there will be like more extensions of our applications for that. But we are not going to turn into fully functional like the dApp browser in the foreseeable future, at least, because again, we are focused on key storage and integrations with external tools like Wallet Connect that you mentioned. So that will be the main channel of integration to dApps in the future.
Mm-hmm. Got it. All right. Nice and quick answer. How about we take this next one? Is Tangem considering implementing a multisig solution or some other stealth address to mitigate the risk of hacks and unauthorized withdrawals?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So any kind of like sophisticated key management, key sharding, and all the algorithms, crypto algorithms that are required to share keys will not be implemented by us, because it contradicts with our security strategy and product security strategy, and it's very complicated for the users. So basically, if you as a user want to have multi-sig functionality, you will have to use on-chain things for that, like Gnosis wallet that I mentioned before. And we will not do any kind of multi-sig algorithm in our wallet, because again, it's complicated. Implementing such a thing could make things worse for many of our users, just because of mismanagement and complexity.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Okay. Let's try and take something live. Let's do something quite easy. Well, there's a couple that I'm reading through, and there's a lot of shout outs that I do want to make. People are asking for their tokens. People are, grateful that we exist and everything's going so well for them. But at the same time, let's just bring up a couple that are maybe more of the long-term picture things, but it still is interesting to just ask live. All right. What is your strongest advantage do you think will make your team leading the market? It's a new one. It's not a pre-prepared one.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a delay? There might be a delay. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so I think our main strength is that we are very much oriented on community, not like some like abstract stuff or even like direct commercial interest at the current point. We are very much oriented on what people are saying, and we are very focused on a core values like self-custody and lack of complexity. And that's our biggest advantage, and we are going to stick to this approach in the future. So there will be very simple product, very understandable, and very secure.
Simple, advanced, secure, able to be great for onboarding and for very experienced crypto users. That's everything that we are. But I do love questions like these. They really bring out the best in us too. All right, let's add another one from a pre-prepared list. Tangem has taken pride to be an easy-to-use wallet that is beginner-friendly. But how will Tangem try to keep more tech-savvy and crypto-native users that need more advanced in-app functions? I think this comes off perfectly from the last comment. It's almost like it's perfect timing, but there you go.
Right, yeah. Right. Yeah. So again, it's a little bit contradicting. I mean, to provide the product which is same good for everyone, and you know that we are mostly focused on new users, non-tech savvy users. As for tech savvy, so we still can be good if we're talking about mobile platforms, because we're absolutely the same secure as any other solution on the market here. And the only thing that you shouldn't expect any kind of sophisticated functionality inside our application, but you can build like your own key management scheme, your own algorithms through on-chain tools and dApp integrations. And basically, you can achieve any level of security you want. You can get access to any kind of dApp or blockchain with this approach. So, but you need to invest your time a little bit. So you just not expecting this to see this inside our application.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Let's take something live for the time being. We've tackled the advantages. How about let's take another one? You have been wonderful so far. This wonderful user has already asked us a question, but you know, when you have good answers, you just want to keep on coming. So what upcoming developments, partnerships, or initiatives can users expect that will further enhance your value proposition to your project?
Yeah, okay. So I think most of like upcoming integrations are reflected in a roadmap that Anna briefly explained to us. But above that, of course, there will be a product which is integrated with existing payment rails. That's a Visa card integration, which I will explain a little bit later. Otherwise, yeah, so we will be extending our in-app integration. So we will provide more and more alternative services for on-ramp, off-ramp, for swaps, cross-chain functionality, for staking, and we are even going to provide local or regional integrations for such kind of services. Just in order to have like kind of alternative or best propositions for our local users, and like majority of our efforts will be focused on these kind of integrations.
Perfect. Okay. I think that's short, concise, easy. We are knocking it through the park today. I'm really glad, because we normally have this habit to keep on way too long. But now that we've got everything really quite fast, we're doing quite well. But I think we're going to move on to the security questions that we've had pre-planned before, as in you have sent this before from the community. So let's do that right now. I'm trying to find it on my screen. There we go. What is the probability that Tangem Wallet will regenerate the same seed phrase? It's a great question. It's very much security focused, so would be easy.
Okay, yeah, that's simple one again, because I guess you know that we discourage our users from using seed phrase, from generating seed phrase. But if you still decided to do this, it's actually a very straightforward process that is done on a smartphone. So basically, it's a huge random number generated by hardware inside your smartphone, and there's no way it can be like repeated or derived from any kind of data on your smartphone or timer or something. It's totally statistically impossible to generate the same seed phrases on the same device. But by the way, we'll have a security update. It's not a security update, it's an enhancement, which will help you feel even more comfortable, because we'll be able to take an additional entropy, additional randomness from our wallet, from our card, and mix it with the random number generated by the phone. That will help a little bit, just to have two sources of the entropy. But even now, if you generate a random number with your smartphone, it's quite safe. I mean, that you just should keep the seed phrase in safety, and that's the main recommendation for everyone who generates a seed phrase in our application.
Okay.
So
sounds good. I mean, it's a great answer. The chances that it can happen, astronomically little, but to have that explained by you is all the more important and wonderful. Okay, let's continue on with the security theme for now. Let's move on to this next one. Let me pull it up on screen. So what happens when you get the timestamp on to the past on the smartphone and generate a seed phrase? Will there
it's actually the same question, and already covered it. So yeah, it doesn't depend on timestamp or something. So I don't understand this question precisely, but it's totally safe. So there's no way you can roll it back or something.
Got it. All right, let's move on to the next one then. How will Tangem work in order to stay ahead of the rapid innovation and development in the crypto space and keep security up to date to prevent new tactics used by scammers and alike?
Okay. Yeah. So I guess it's clear that the best protection against scammers is just that you don't know your seed phrase. So there's no way you can share your private key or seed phrase with someone, and that's the best way to protect users, and that's what we have in our wallet. So regarding other potential threats, of course, we closely looking, monitoring, and researching everything that is related to mobile security and hardware security. So, and just because of this, that we are totally focused on the mobile platforms and a piece of hardware which is non-composite, meaning it has only one chip inside. We can be very sure about potential vector of attacks, and be very sure that we are all protected against all of this. So yeah, I think I will explain it a bit later. Why we don't have screen display buttons and all this stuff. But so first, the main answer for this question is that we again keep everything very very simple, very focused, and have very clear security model for our product.
Got it. Okay. Brilliant. Let's take something a little bit more on the emotional side of things again. Let's take something live. Let's go for this one. This wonderful user does have great questions. We're going to try to get to them all, but let's start with this one. Why did you want to make a crypto wallet, and what drove you into the crypto space as an investor?
Oh, good question. It was a long time ago. No, so that was a professional interest in the beginning, because I was an engineer at that point, and we had access to quite new technology, quite advanced technology at that point, which allowed us to come up with a working prototype very quickly. So I think the main reason is curiosity and also professional interest. So regarding the investment, no, of course we are not connecting. We're not connected. We are not promoting any specific coin or blockchain, and we are not going to have our coins or something like that, or ICOs. I wanted to tell this separately. So we are not investors. So we are not affiliated with any particular blockchain, and we will never be.
Yeah, we're pretty agnostic, and we like to keep it that way.
Answer? Yeah.
Focusing. That's a great answer. What do you mean if it's a good answer or not? It's the perfect answer, because it's the truth and it's coming about us, right? We're Tangem, and this is what we stand for. Okay. I think it's great. All right, let's take another one. Well, this is actually, well, do we want to go into priorities right now? Or do you want to take one of the last ones from our pre-prepared questions? Let's go for that instead. Right, let's go for this one. A common concern is the need for a display to be able to verify transactions. Is this a concern for Tangem, and will you be creating a screen device in the future?
Okay, yeah, that's a very common question, as you can imagine. So, and the whole topic of blind signing is quite sensitive to many users. So I guess we prepared a special research, special explanation for this. But right now I can tell you that it can be valid concern. But only when you're talking about less secure platforms like desktops, like Windows. Then having a separate display on your device can be justified. This is true. In case of mobile platforms and with their security, it's redundant in our understanding. It brings no real security benefits. In case of mobile platforms. And that's why we are not just going to have it, because in our case, in case of our product, it just brings more and more disadvantages in terms of reliability, in terms of lifespan of the product, and we definitely will stick to our current architecture with a very reliable device with just a single electronic component, which is designed specially for this application, because it has a very strong flash memory inside, which will store your keys, your data for decades. So, which is comparable with paper and ink. So basically, there's no real difference between storing keys on our card and having your seed phrase written down on a simple piece of paper. And in case of any composite device with a screen and buttons and plugs and batteries, it's much less reliable, definitely. So you shouldn't expect like to put it in your safe and get it back in 10 years and expect that it will work as it was designed. So in our case, it's absolutely possible, especially when you have 2 or 3 cards. You can like store it for decades and give it to your children. I don't know. So that's basically why. So our product is absolutely safe in case of mobile application, using it's with combination with mobile applications. So because mobile platforms are safe enough unless the user wants to play with these platforms themselves. Then they become vulnerable. And that's the point where everything can like crumble apart. This is true. But if you are just usual user and just get you buy your smartphone from like a shop and like trusted source, and you get application from the App Store, you're absolutely safe. There's no way someone can organize like a dynamic attack which will interfere functioning of your application and do something like replace an address of the destination address. That is like impossible in our understanding. What is really important is potential static attacks, meaning that when a hacker or intruder wants to get your keys or a seed phrase. And that is again not something you can do on a mobile platform, and that is not possible in our scenario because the key is always in the chip. There's no way to extract it. Okay, I think that's it.
A good way to cover it. We do also have a couple of things to follow that up with. I will be leaving a lot of things in the description for this live stream, of course. So we've got a couple of blog articles that I'm listening to this right now, and I'm going, this would be a really good one to catch up with. One of them is, how does Tangem back up your private keys? That's a great must read. It's one of those articles that takes a while to kind of understand fully the ingenuity of Tangem behind it. But once you wrap your head around it, you understand not only, well, half of these questions, they're always around, does it make sense? Have you ever had hackers and so on? But it's more about, there is no need completely, because the way that we have designed it is a lot of things have been thought of in advance. So it's one of those articles that's like the pillar of things to read about Tangem. So that's the backup, how Tangem works to back up your keys. And the second one is the blind signing argument that we've just talked about. We did cover this before, but we do actually have a good article written down with all of your common questions and our take on it, so to speak. And of course, it was written with you, so definitely coming from the right person and backed up in text form. So I'll be sure to populate that into community afterwards. This is also a really good time to plug that we do have a wonderful community. We have all of the wonderful channels, and we're growing at a very fast speed. But me personally, I always stand for my community channels. So that would be Discord and Telegram and Reddit and all the other places. But if you do come in with questions such as these, these are wonderful questions. We love to cover them live, not just once a month, as they are happening in the moment. So if you just drop into Discord and Telegram, we have a wonderful team who can always start to look at all those questions and answer them in real time. Okay. Cool. That's my 2 cents, my little plug right there. Let's take something live. I can see you guys have got a lot of questions and a lot of comments, actually. A couple of things I will bring up just because it's nice to have some sort of feedback, right? So bullish, wonderful. Then we've also got why we love Tangem, don't trust any other wallets no more. Oh, that's nice of you. And of course, Pedro, who's a wonderful helper of the community. So just a couple of the little friendly words that we get from time to time. I mean, we've also have things like strong security and great. So wonderful. Okay, let's bring up one that is live. Not live, sorry. Actually, yeah, let's go live since I've just started talking live stuff. So that would be great. How about, let's go for this one. Let's we've got some time a little bit to spare. Let's look at what are the top 3 priorities for 2024. Have you got some plans for the upcoming year that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, so I guess like 3 priorities we have this year is just to stay within our roadmap. That's the first one, because it's the most challenging thing. We have a lot of things to do, and most of our efforts will come there. The second one is a ring, and we will definitely start shipping ring this year. So that will be an important milestone for us. And the third one is Visa integration and first Visa integrated wallets. Again, that will be a first pilot. I think there will be limited number of users this year, but still that will be the first fully self-custody Visa card on the market. We'll explain you why a bit later.
Okay, great way to kick things off. How about we finish the security questions that we have from somebody in the community earlier? I think this was actually raised I think it was raised in Discord beforehand, but let's try this one coming up. In the past, have you had issues with some networks being unreachable? How does this happen? And are you completely decentralized? Why can we sometimes not reach our crypto?
Right. Yeah, that's actually that's a very good question, because it has the answer inside the question itself. That is like the contradiction between being decentralized and having the full availability of the service. So what do we do in our application? We are trying to make as many connections to node APIs, as many as we can, and then we have a huge redundancy because of this. Sometimes we have to pay for this integration ourselves, but we are trying not to establish our own node infrastructure internally. Because in that way, the whole product, the whole functionality will not be decentralized, and it will depend on our infrastructure, which we don't want to be. And that's why we have like these integrations to external services. And sometimes there are situations when like 1 or 2 or 3 services can either fail altogether, or can work slowly, can fall behind with the synchronization of nodes. That is possible, but that are consequences of our decentralization. That's what we have for not like building our centralized infrastructure for everything. For some of blockchains, we still have to do this, but with larger blockchains like Ethereum, we rely on public services like Infura or analogs. That's the answer.
Brilliant. Okay. One thing to add here as well is that we do have something called the Apocalypse Scenario. It's a wonderful blog article. It's been written by yours truly as well. It covers a lot of the questions like this. So something that we do see in community quite often is network is down, what's going on? And this is one of those things that we do cover in the Apocalypse Scenario blog article, because it does cover what would happen, theoretically speaking, if Tangem as a company no longer existed. Of course, this is not something that we're concerned for, but we are in the business of safety and security, and to be able to provide that peace of mind that you can always reach your assets and be able to have access to it. I'm also going to cover right now that, it's an open source company.
Right,
yeah. Download the source code right now. All the tools are there for you to be able to have complete control of your assets. So just small little plug for the blog as well. Right. Let's move on to another section that we do have. I think this is more on the future of where we're taking out products and so on. I do want to give the development team a small little shout out. The swap in Tangem is very resourceful and the best to use. So the design team and the development team will be very happy to have comments like this. So if you do have any comments for us as well, be sure to leave them. We can pull this up just for fun, and then we can take it from there. Okay. Let's take this following one coming up. All right. Are you planning on integrating a paying with crypto card / ring function this year, maybe a collaboration with Visa? Or this looks like somebody hasn't been keeping in touch with our roadmap, but a question is a question.
Yeah, so yeah, that's okay. So we're proceeding to Visa part. Yeah, that's what we're going to do this year. Yeah, as I mentioned, and that will be product that will be fully separated from the wallet. That's the first point, because it's the last thing we want to have is any kind of merging the payment functionality, which is like a licensed business, which is regulated business, with a fully self-custody wallet. And it's very important to tell just from the beginning that those are two separate products which are connected only on chain through a smart contract, meaning that the Visa card, which has elements of our wallets inside. So it's a very special type of card, which is licensed by us with Visa and made partnership with Visa. Basically, it's different type of hardware inside the card. It will work directly with the smart contract, meaning you can get this card, you can go buy coffee in Starbucks or everywhere around the world. And there will be crypto transaction coming from this card directly to a smart contract on chain. And the Tangem wallet will stand separately and will be used to manage these smart contracts and manage your funds in smart contract. And that is a fully self-custodial picture, meaning that there will be no intermediary that will hold your crypto even for like a short time. It will be fully separated, and the wallet will still be fully anonymous. So all the coins you store there, it will not be like connected or linked to anything you do with this Visa payment rails and the smart contract that manages the whole Visa card. And if you decide like to stop using this product, you decide to like withdraw funds that you used to pay with Visa, it will be fully available all the time. So it's fully censorship protected. It's like more fancy word for that, blockchain word. And you will be able to extract all your funds from smart contract, regardless of the Visa integration, regardless of this Visa card, meaning that you have full control over your funds all the time. And a Visa card, this Visa wallet card, is just an addition to your self-custody fund storage, which is still controlled with your wallet. So that's very high-level conceptual explanation of what we're doing with Visa. It will be very, very unique thing. It's not like comparable to anything on the market, like existing Visa crypto cards from exchanges, or even like new products which claim they're self-custodial. This is entirely like different because it combines like crypto transaction embedded into Visa transaction natively, and that will be like a revolution. You will see.
We're excited for it. I think that also ties into the next question that we do have. So I will skip that one, which is, well, let's cover it just in case, but I think we have covered most of the things, which is, can you give some more information on Tangem
Right,
Pay?
yeah. Oh, yeah, There could be very deep technical explanation for this, but that's definitely not for this call. We will share more materials, more technical materials for this. You will see how it works. But from the conceptual point of view, I explained that will be totally separated. And the uniqueness of this kind of product would be that you will fully control your funds all the time.
We've got a couple of sort of special editions, so to say, about how we're going to be presenting our new product releases coming up. So, of course, we do have Tangem Ring coming up as a separate release very, very soon. I think it's actually coming at the end of the month. And similarly with Tangem Pay towards the end of the year. All of this information will be very live, and we'll be doing our very best to convince you that we are, well, as we actually are, not that we need convincing, that we are very different, and it's a very different product offering, and we're co-creating it together. So it's very exciting to have, you know, that all of those products coming up in the future. But for now, let's focus on what we have right now. How about let's take another thing live. I've got a couple of things. Oh, this has got to do with the Tangem Ring, but somewhat superficial, but not less important question. Will there be different styles of rings as they are with cards?
Yeah, not at the moment. That's a good question. That's something we can think about. But you know, everything in physical world is more difficult sometimes. At least it takes much longer time to make it real. So we start with a single design, but theoretically, yeah, it's possible to customize this. But let us like have a first feedback. Let's see how it works in the field. I mean, the feedback from the users. We are like fully sure that it will be as reliable as the card, and then we will see what we can do with customization. But that's a good idea. Yeah.
It's a good question. This person does ask really good questions. Last time they also asked some brilliant questions, and I was very excited to see you again. So hello and welcome again. Right, let's move. I was a little bit too hasty with time. I was very proud that we're doing quite well, but let's try and speed things up. Let's move on to the next one. What other contributions can your organization make to advance Web3 development and integrate it seamlessly into our daily lives?
Yeah, actually, we're doing a lot, and we've been doing a lot since like 2018. And because the wallet you have right now is is our consumer product. It's a crystallization of our like experience, but we started with a lot of things, and we have a lot of concepts and pilot project behind in many areas of Web3. So we work with decentralized identity. We have some good products there, but we are waiting for the market to be in place, because it requires a lot of regulation. It requires a lot of efforts from governments. But we hope we'll return to this business maybe later, because our product is really perfect for decentralized identity and for storing your credentials, your personal data yourself. So it's a self-custody concept, but for your personal data. Then we did many things with physical NFTs, with anti-counterfeit protection, and even ticketing. So we do a lot because our product is our platform is very flexible, and we can do different type of wallets that can be used in the physical world. So everything that connects physical world to Web3, we can definitely find a place there for Tangem.
Works for us. Let's take on the next one coming up. How does Tangem foresee the role of hardware wallets evolving in the future, and what steps are you taking to stay ahead of the curve and meet the changing needs of the crypto community?
Yes, so as for now, we still see growth of demand in hardware wallet because it's a very core value, core concept of the crypto industry that your keys should be with you. So not you know, this well-known phrase that not your keys, not your crypto. That's we like 100% believe this, and we believe that it will remain the core concept in the future. So if this question implies some, I don't know, a regulation scrutiny or something like that, we don't think that it's really possible, because from the legal point of view, what we're doing is just a hardware device that is connected through applications to some other applications, and it will be virtually impossible to restrict or ban this kind of product. And we think that there's a good future for this, because the keys should be for any kind of Web3 assets, from any kind of Web3 assets, should be protected with a technology like this and be kept with the user. So we're bullish.
Good way to put it. All right. We've got a couple more questions just from our pre-prepared, ready to go, really. I think we're going to be wrapping up relatively soon. So if you have a question, now's the perfect chance. Well, this is the last chance to ask it live, but we're still going to be able to cover all of those afterwards. We've made it a habit that any questions that we didn't cover during the live stream, we answer in Discord. So just be sure to pop in and have that ability to ask it a little bit down the line later. So in which case, let's cover this one. I think it's a very good question to have just before we kind of wrap up slowly. What is Tangem's take on EU new crypto regulations, and how are Tangem coping with regulations?
Yeah, that's what I briefly mentioned. So the current year, the upcoming EU regulation do not really is not related to a hardware wallet or self-custody wallet. It doesn't ban this kind of product or usage of this kind of product. What it really means that it will be more, the on-ramp and off-ramp will be more regulated. So any kind of transactions involving self-custody wallet will be monitored, and maybe will require more AML procedures or something, but the product itself will stay there. And for like small transactions below 1,000 euros or a few thousand euros, it will be as convenient as it is right now. So we don't expect that there will be any more complexities in terms of on-ramp, off-ramp. And from the on-chain perspective, there will be no differences, because this regulation cannot do anything with on-chain things. It's still a hardware wallet. It's your personal device and your personal software.
Yeah, good way to put it. Basically, we're keeping an eye on it, but not a gigantic concern for us right now. We've got one more beautiful question to end on, but before that, let's take something really, really fast. This is something that we can, I think, just unveil a little bit. Why the name Tangem, and what made you create it?
Oh yeah, that's simple. Yeah. So basically, there are two words. First is tangible, and the second one is gem. Because we started with a very different product, we came up with a fixed denomination wallet. So if you ever saw our first wallets, there was like small cards with 0.01 Bitcoin denomination, which were loaded there and distributed physically. So we imagined it would be some kind of replacement on a physical banknote, and that's how this name emerged. So that's a funny story.
I like it. It opens up a little bit more about the history and how we kind of came to be. We do have a rich history, been I think since 2018, right? So we've got a big, long history, and it's I don't think we've actually talked very openly about where does the name even come from. So nice. All right. I think we're going to be wrapping up soon. We've got one last question. This is going to be one of those questions that's it's a bit of everything all at the same time. So it's open playing field. You answer it how you want to, but I think it's just a great question to finish up. So what is the future of Tangem? Are you planning on adding more products? Are you focused on taking more market share, or are you creating a different product category?
I guess you got an answer from our previous conversation. So we are not going to make anything really different in terms of the hardware wallet product. So it will be like a single chip based device, either card or ring, or maybe something else in the future. And we will just do more and more integrations based on these devices. So no pivots, no revolutions, nothing really new, because we believe we have a very good balance between simplicity and usability and affordability of this product. So we will keep going this way without any without any serious changes in the future.
Got it. Well, I think that's a wonderful way to finish up then, talking about the big grander scheme of life and where Tangem is going. But I think the great answer is upward or to the moon, because that seems to be a crypto lingo speak for we're definitely going above and beyond as much as possible. So, all right, I think that brings us in for today. We've got lots of wonderful people being very excited about us. I mean, we would like being excited about us too. So I think that's kind of it where we are at the moment. Andrey, do you have any kind of finishing words for us? Maybe something you would like to pass on?
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. So we really love our community. You're helping us a lot. And as I said, we'll be your opinion, your request will be absolute value for us. And yeah, let's keep going like that. Thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful to have you with us. It's been great to have you on board with us. I mean, it's the first time that we're going live with you, and it's been great. So thank you so much. And I think we're going to finish up for today. I'm going to take you offline, and then I'm going to give a slight quick goodbye. All right. Right, we've said goodbye. Just to finish up for today, I'm just going to finish up by saying thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. It's been a great little session. We tried to keep it to an hour, and we succeeded for the first time in history of our Tangem AMAs. So thank you so much for your time and everybody for joining us. We will be announcing all of our winners at the very end. I think actually the best way to go about it would be to look out for the announcement in our Discord. So if you go and follow us on Discord, we'll do something in /giveaways, hashtag giveaways. I'll be posting there about who our winners are for this AMA session. So 5 people will be chosen from there. Now, what I will leave you with for today is this wonderful little video. If you haven't caught up with it before, now's the perfect time. So thank you so much for being live. And I think we'll see you in roughly about 3 or 4 weeks. And until then, we'll see you in community and have a wonderful day.
Hello, my name is Neil Maloney. I'm a lab technologist here at ESL Technology, where we do environmental simulation testing, and we're located in Nova Scotia, Canada. If you want a complete overview of our testing capabilities, you can visit our website, esl-labs.com. Today I'm doing a pressure test on 12 Tangem crypto wallets. The purpose of the test is to demonstrate that the wallet still functions after it's subjected to 38 megapascals, which is equivalent to the pressure you would experience at a depth of 3,800 meters. If all goes as expected, I will then repeat the test for 60 megapascals, which is equivalent to a depth of 6 kilometers. So I'm going to start by getting 12 cards into the tank, and then you'll see me putting the lid on the tank, and I'll show the pressurization portion and show the graph on the screen, because otherwise there's really nothing to see, just the text. we've got the pressure displayed. Okay, we're about at the end of our hour-long hold. In less than a minute, it's going to start to depressurize. So you get to watch that. And then I'll show taking the items out of the tank and the functional test on the phone. Go. One at a time. There we go. 2, 3. 4. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All work immediately after 60.3 megapascals, depth of 6 kilometers. That's deep. There you go. Thanks very much.